Hello, my friends. I hope you guys are doing well. It is Sunday night, and I am still sort of processing what Justyn shared with us on Thursday night. She wrapped up our series Afterlife, where we've been studying the book of John and these different interactions that Jesus had with people, not just before his death, but after his resurrection, and how his resurrection completely changed people's lives. And this week, Justyn shared about the life of Peter and how Jesus forgave Peter. And it's this beautiful story because we get to see Peter in Jesus's worst moments completely betrays Jesus. And yet, when Jesus comes back to life, he just welcomes Peter back. Like he just loves him, and he really helps us to see how forgiving God is and how big his love is. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting that Justyn shared with us, and I'm just still processing it, is how so many of us, we have these, maybe it feels like a natural reaction to run and hide, to run and hide from discomfort, to run and hide from our mistakes and our mess ups that we just are like, oh, it's hard to admit it to other people. It's hard to apologize to other people. It's hard to even accept God's forgiveness and love. But one of the things that she talked about, which I just thought was really interesting, is that if we struggle with the feeling of guilt and shame, that we can actually, because of Jesus's resurrection, because of his love, God's love is even big enough that when we struggle with guilt and shame, we can even ask God to help us to have a different sort of reaction, to be able to accept it, so that when we're struggling, when we're allowing that narrative of like, oh, I suck, or oh, look at how much I messed up, when we have that, we can actually ask God to change the narrative in our mind, to actually pray and ask God, God, help me to accept your grace, to be overwhelmed by your love and your grace, and be underwhelmed by my own guilt and shame. And I think that's a really cool thing, that God loves us so much. He even can help us in how we respond to him, how we respond to his love and to accept it. And so, I don't know, this week, I just want to encourage you, when you're sitting in that moment, when you mess up and you just, you feel the weight of it, take Justyn's advice and that wisdom of just saying, God, help me to accept your grace. Help me to accept your forgiveness. Help me to not sit in the shame and to allow it to eat away at me. Help me not to have that negative narrative in my mind, and instead to see me how you see me. So I just want to encourage you with that this week. Process it, think about it, and like when you're in that moment, pray, talk to God. And see how God changes how you see yourself and how you see him. So I just want to encourage you guys with that. Justyn, thank you so much for sharing. It was awesome this week. And I look forward to seeing you guys all this Thursday at our last youth group before we hit our summer calendar. So I love you guys. Have a good week. Bye.